If it feels like people trust their governments less than they did a generation ago, you're not imagining it. From local councils to national bodies, a quiet but persistent erosion of public confidence is underway. Across the world, confidence has been sliding for decades, even as citizens' expectations for effective, responsive governance keep rising. This isn't just a headline, it's a fundamental challenge to how our societies function. So, why is this precious resource of trust eroding? What are the real-world consequences? And what would it take to genuinely rebuild it? If you enjoy clear, evidence-based explainers that get to the heart of complex issues, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more. First, what do we actually mean by trust? It's more than just a feeling. Social scientists describe it as a psychological state, a belief that an institution or a person will act in your best interest. When applied to governments, this breaks down into three core pillars. First, a belief in that they have the skills and capacity to deliver on their promises, from fixing roads to managing a national economy. Second, a belief in their integrity, that they will apply rules impartially, without favoritism or corruption. And third, a belief that they act in that their primary motive is the well-being of all citizens, not the narrow interests of a select few. Trust is the essential lubricant that allows a complex society to operate smoothly. But how is this measured? Organizations like the OECD and the Edelman Trust Barometer conduct long-running international surveys. They ask thousands of people carefully worded questions about their confidence in various institutions, from the police and courts to the civil service and national parliament. These surveys show a mixed picture. Some places, often with strong social safety nets and low corruption, hold steady. But in many developed and developing nations, the trend is downward. It's important to note these are snapshots with margins of error, but the long-term pattern is clear. Sharp shifts often follow major crises, like a financial crash, a natural disaster, or a pandemic, which act as stress tests for government competence and integrity, often leaving a lasting dent in public perception. Here's the roadmap for our deep dive. First, we'll explore the key drivers behind this decline, from transparency gaps and frustrating public services to the corrosive effects of economic anxiety and online misinformation. Then, we'll examine the real-world impact when trust collapses. Finally, and most importantly, we'll look at practical, evidence-backed steps that governments and citizens can take to methodically rebuild that trust. If this helps, please like and subscribe. Looking at the scope, data from the last 2 decades reveals that many countries, particularly in Europe and North America, report declining confidence in national institutions. However, this isn't uniform. Levels of trust vary significantly by region and, crucially, by the specific agency. People often report higher trust for frontline services they interact with directly, like local schools, firefighters, or postal workers. The trust deficit is typically largest for abstract, distant bodies like the national legislature or political parties. But it's the overall downward drift in trust for central governance that poses a significant threat to social cohesion and the ability to tackle large-scale problems. So what's causing this? Driver 1 is the perception of transparency gaps and the reality of scandals. When major decisions about public funds or national policy happen behind closed doors, people naturally become suspicious. This is amplified when misconduct makes headlines, whether it's a story about inappropriate use of taxpayer money, conflicts of interest, or backroom deals with lobbyists. The problem is that a few high-profile cases can taint entire institutions through a spillover effect, leading citizens to infer the worst, even about honest public servants. Secrecy breeds suspicion, and even the appearance of impropriety can be as damaging as the real thing. Like insights like these? Like and subscribe. Driver 2 is the daily reality of service delivery. Trust isn't just about grand principles, it's forged in everyday interactions. When healthcare queues stretch for months, when a simple business permit gets stalled in bureaucracy for a year, or when disaster aid is painfully slow to arrive, that lived experience directly contradicts official promises of efficiency. People judge competence by results, not by slogans on a website. A clunky, confusing online portal or an unanswered helpline number can do more to erode trust than a dozen political speeches can do to build it. These frictional experiences accumulate, creating a narrative that the government is incompetent or simply doesn't care. Driver 3 is persistent economic stress, when people work hard but see their wages stagnate while the cost of housing, healthcare, and education skyrockets. They begin to feel the system is rigged against them. Widening inequality, where a small fraction of the population captures a large share of economic gains, reinforces this perception. Under constant financial strain, citizens become less tolerant of government inefficiency or waste. Even ordinary policy errors or necessary tax increases can feel like a personal affront, fueling resentment and the belief that the government is serving the interests of the wealthy and powerful, not the average family. For more explainers, please like and subscribe. Driver 4 is deepening polarization. In a highly polarized environment, politics becomes a zero-sum game of us versus them. With fewer shared sources of information and a decline in cross-party social interaction, compromise is often viewed as betrayal. Citizens increasingly filter information through their political identity, leading them to question not just the policy ideas of the opposing side, but their fundamental motives and legitimacy. This erodes the very foundation of democratic governance, which relies on the consent of the governed, even those who didn't vote for the party in power. Driver 5 is the industrial-scale spread of misinformation and disinformation. In our digital ecosystem, false or misleading claims designed to provoke anger and fear can spread like wildfire. Sophisticated algorithms often reward outrage with visibility, meaning a lie can circle the globe before the truth has a chance to respond. Corrections and fact checks, while vital, rarely achieve the same viral reach. When the very concept of objective truth has to compete with emotionally charged virality, public certainty gives way to pervasive suspicion. People don't know who or what to believe, and trusting any official source becomes an act of faith many are unwilling to make. If you're finding value, like and subscribe. Driver 6 involves growing privacy concerns. The expansion of digital surveillance, massive government databases, and a steady stream of high-profile data leaks raise legitimate fears. People worry that institutions see more than they should and are collecting vast amounts of personal information without adequate consent, transparency, or security. When opaque algorithms are used to make critical decisions about things like loan applications or parole hearings, it creates a sense of powerlessness. This raises a fundamental question. Can you trust an institution that knows everything about you, but explains very little about how it uses that knowledge? And Driver 7 is sheer complexity. Applying for benefits, understanding tax law, or navigating the justice system can feel like trying to solve a maze designed by a hostile architect. When public services are buried under layers of jargon, endless forms, and convoluted portals, people don't just get frustrated, they feel excluded. They reasonably conclude that the system wasn't designed for them. This bureaucratic friction sends a powerful message. You are not welcome here. Simplicity and ease of use aren't just design principles. They are signals of respect for citizens' time and intelligence. Support the channel. Please like and subscribe. So what happens when trust falls? The consequences are severe. Social cooperation phrase. Compliance with laws and regulations drops, as people feel less obligation to a system they don't believe in. Public health campaigns, which rely on collective action, struggle to gain traction. Political and social protest cycles can intensify, moving from constructive dissent to chronic, unproductive anger. Yet, there's nuance. As we noted, many people still trust the local services and frontline workers who deliver visible, tangible results every day. This is where the seeds of rebuilding trust can be found. If this resonates, like and subscribe. So how do we rebuild? It's not about a single grand gesture, but a sustained commitment to new ways of working. The first step is radical transparency. This means proactively publishing government data in a way that's accessible and understandable to everyone. Publish budgets, public contracts, and environmental reports in plain language. Create public performance dashboards that show goals, baselines, and real-time progress on key metrics. Don't just release a 500-page report. Create an interactive site that lets citizens see exactly how their tax money is being spent in their own neighborhood. Show your work. Second, relentlessly upgrade the service experience. Treat citizens like valued customers, not applicants. This means obsessing over user experience, UX. Redesign processes to have fewer steps, faster responses, and clear communication. Ensure there is always a path to reach a knowledgeable human being at moments of high stress or confusion. Design forms for clarity and test them with real users. Close the loop with automated status updates via text or email, so people are never left wondering what's happening. Every positive, frictionless interaction is a deposit in the bank of public trust. Don't miss future episodes. Like and subscribe. Third, strengthen independent oversight and accountability. Trust requires guardrails. This means empowering independent bodies like auditors general, ombudsmen, and ethics commissioners with the resources and legal authority to do their jobs without political interference. There must be clear rules for official conduct and real, visible consequences for breaking them. This includes routine, unannounced audits, and robust legal protections for whistleblowers who expose wrongdoing. Accountability cannot just be promised, it must be consistently and publicly demonstrated. Fourth, communicate risk and uncertainty like scientists. During a crisis, leaders may be tempted to project absolute certainty. This often backfires when circumstances change. A better approach is to explain what is known, what is unknown, and what the range of possibilities is. Acknowledge uncertainty and commit to updating the public as new evidence emerges. This candor doesn't project weakness. It builds long-term credibility and resilience. People can handle the truth, but they despise feeling like they've been misled. If you appreciate this approach, like and subscribe. Fifth, invite people in and give them real influence. Go beyond traditional elections and consultations. Models like participatory budgeting, where residents directly decide how to spend a portion of a public budget, create immense shared ownership. Citizen assemblies, where a randomly selected representative group of people learn about an issue in depth and provide policy recommendations, can break through political gridlock. These processes create powerful feedback loops that lead to better, more legitimate decisions, transforming citizens from passive consumers of government services into active co-creators. Support more civic explainers. Please like and subscribe. Sixth, build societal resilience against falsehoods. This is a shared responsibility. Governments and schools can integrate critical media literacy into curricula, teaching students from a young age how to evaluate sources and identify manipulation tactics. Public agencies can engage in pre-bunking, proactively warning and educating the public about misleading narratives before they spread. And partnerships between government, independent fact-checkers, and tech platforms can help to surface verified, authoritative information more quickly during breaking events. For more, like and subscribe. So what can you, as a citizen, do? First, engage with the tools of transparency. Use official portals to request data. When you see a government dashboard, look for the methodology notes. Read the auditor's report. Transparency only works when people are actually looking. Your attention is a powerful tool for accountability. If you agree, please like and subscribe. Second, give constructive, specific feedback. If you have a bad service experience, report it with dates, times, and specific details. The website was broken is less helpful than the submit button on the permit application form gave me a 404 error on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Use official complaint channels and escalate respectfully when needed. Specific, well-documented input is far more likely to get traction and lead to real improvements. Like practical tips? Like and subscribe. Third, practice information hygiene. Be mindful of what you consume and share. Before you share a shocking claim, pause. Check the source. Is it credible? Look for coverage from multiple, reputable outlets. Be especially skeptical of content that triggers a strong emotional reaction, as it's often designed to bypass your critical thinking. Remember that your share is an endorsement, so make it a considered one. And fourth, participate locally. The easiest place to see the link between action and outcome is in your own community. Attend a town hall or a school board meeting. Join a local commission or volunteer for a neighborhood project. Trust often grows first where results are visible and relationships are real. Rebuilding trust isn't just a top-down process. It's also built from the ground up. Stay involved. Please like and subscribe. It's crucial to remember, trust isn't blind faith. It shouldn't be. Healthy, durable trust is earned day by day through demonstrated competence, unwavering fairness, and a culture of openness. It's not about demanding citizens believe what they're told. It's about providing them with credible reasons to believe. Small, consistent improvements in service, communication, and accountability add up over time to create a system worthy of confidence. Enjoying this series? Like and subscribe. If you face specific issues with a government agency that affect your rights or access to services, consider consulting appropriate legal aid services or an ombudsman in your area. This video is for informational purposes and does not constitute professional, legal, or financial advice. The global decline in trust is a real and serious challenge, but it is not irreversible. It is a symptom of systems that have become too distant, too complex, and too opaque. When institutions commit to showing their work, delivering reliable and respectful services, and genuinely inviting people into the process, confidence can and will grow again. Trust is a relationship, and like any relationship, it can be repaired with effort, honesty, and a commitment to do better. Thanks for watching. If you found this explainer useful, please support our work by liking this video and subscribing to the channel.